Yes, I can help with Joshua Selman sermons. Apostle Joshua Selman is a Nigerian Christian minister, teacher and founder of Koinonia. His sermons are widely known for their depth, strong scriptural foundations, and emphasis on spiritual growth, intimacy with God, destiny, leadership, and the ministry of the Holy Spirit. In the name of Jesus, I speak over this month, December. Hear the word of the Lord. You are not permitted to close like the months before. You will not end in tears, lack, confusion, or disappointment. You shall be a carrier of good news. You shall deliver testimonies that sound like lies because of the magnitude of God's mercy. Oh. When you speak prophetically to a month, you are not uttering empty words into the air. You are exercising a spiritual law that creation itself understands. The month of December is not just a span of days on a calendar. It is a gate in the realm of the Spirit, a doorway through which outcomes, opportunities, and divine possibilities are transported into your experience. Many people walk through time passively, hoping that something good will happen, but in the kingdom, dominion is not for the silent. Dominion is for those who speak. It is for those who understand that spiritual environments respond to prophetic utterances. December is a season that many treat as a closing chapter, but the believer does not have the luxury of casual living. What you do not command cannot deliver. What you do not speak to will remain unresponsive. To command December is to take a deliberate stand in spiritual authority and declare, you will not end like the previous months. You will not echo the patterns of the past. You will submit to the purposes of God concerning my family. When you speak this way, you are not arguing with the month. You are legislating. You are aligning time with the will of God. The principle is simple. What you do not bless cannot be multiplied, and what you do not confront will continue. So when you stand as a priest and decree over December, you are positioning yourself as one who rejects every negative prophecy, every demonic cycle, and every limiting pattern that seeks to repeat itself at the end of the year. Speaking to December is also a declaration of faith. Faith does not wait for things to improve before speaking. Faith speaks to enforce improvement. Faith calls things that be not as though they were. When you say, December, hear me, bring good news, you are not wishing, you are activating spiritual gates. You are summoning angels. You are setting in motion forces that were idle. You are declaring that the atmosphere of this month must shift to favor your family, your destiny, and your assignment. Prophecy becomes the compass that guides the outcomes of your days, and your words become the building blocks of your experience. December is a strategic month. It ends seasons, it seals outcomes, it carries the weight of expectations built from January until now. For many, December has become a symbol of regret, a reminder of what did not happen. But when you speak prophetically, you break the power of that narrative. You rewrite the script. You declare that what could not be achieved in 11 months can be compressed into 1 month by the Spirit of God. You declare that the final stretch of the year will not be a valley of disappointment, but a mountain of celebration. You insist that the month carries good news. News that affects your family, shifts your destiny, and alters your story. When you command December, you are declaring that time is not sovereign over you, God is. You are reminding creation that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are a child of the King. You are telling the month, you must answer to the voice of the Spirit expressed through my lips. Every day in December carries potential. Potential for revelation, for breakthrough, for healing, for restoration. But potential must be activated, and activation happens through speech. You speak into the month, until the month becomes what you declare. You speak until your words gather momentum. You speak until the atmosphere aligns. You speak until December itself becomes a messenger of good news. When you make a deliberate decision to break negative patterns, you are not merely rejecting undesirable experiences. You are confronting spiritual cycles that have attempted to repeat themselves year after year. Negative patterns rarely occur by accident. They are often the product of unseen influences, unresolved battles, wounded memories, or inherited limitations that quietly shape outcomes. Many people enter new months with excitement, only to see old frustrations rise again, because the underlying patterns were never broken. When you declare over December that the old order must end, you are refusing to allow the shadows of previous months to darken the light of this one. You are boldly announcing that what afflicted you before will not follow you into the final stretch of the year. Breaking negative patterns starts with recognition. You must first acknowledge the cycles that have replayed in your life. Cycles of delay, cycles of disappointment, cycles of sudden financial strain, cycles of sickness that appear at the same time each year, cycles of relationship conflict, or cycles of emotional heaviness. These patterns appear predictable, almost as though the enemy has studied your life and carefully timed their reappearance. But the moment you lift your voice in prophetic authority and declare, "This December shall not continue the patterns of old," you are drawing a clear line in the spirit. You are refusing to be a slave to cycles. You are declaring that the authority of Christ in you is greater than the repetition that seeks to keep you bound. There are families where the end of the year is always marked by quarrels, losses, confusion, or tragedy. There are individuals who experience near breakthroughs in December, but never actual testimonies. There are households where sickness appears every December, draining joy and resources. When you break negative patterns, you are rising above these limitations and enforcing a new order. You are announcing that the script has changed, that the month must align with divine possibilities rather than familiar afflictions. You are speaking against spiritual atmospheres that are hostile to progress. You are silencing voices that whisper fear. You are resisting the temptation to assume that things will end as they usually do. You are insisting that December must bow to the authority of God, not to inherited experiences. Breaking negative patterns also requires intentionality. You cannot approach December passively. The month must hear your voice, refusing every evil alignment. You must declare that the disappointments of January to November will not be crowned with a worse ending in December. You must insist that the failures of the past months will not find expression in this one. You must speak against old mindsets that empower these cycles. For every pattern that held your emotions hostage, declare liberty. For every cycle that shut doors, command divine opening. For every atmosphere of heaviness, insist on the oil of joy. Your voice becomes the weapon that shatters the cycle and builds a new reality. And as you speak, heaven responds. Negative patterns thrive in silence, but they collapse under prophetic confrontation. When you say, "This month will not repeat the sorrows of the past," you are partnering with divine power to interrupt the enemy's plans. You are summoning spiritual reinforcement to seal new outcomes. You are declaring the end of year losses, the end of financial dryness, the end of emotional fatigue, the end of spiritual stagnation. You are commanding December to bring a new atmosphere, one of peace, favor, and divine help. The moment you break negative patterns, the environment around you shifts. Suddenly, doors that were once closed begin to open. Opportunities that always slipped through your fingers begin to settle. Miracles that seemed impossible begin to manifest. Breaking negative patterns is not just rejecting the old, it is welcoming the new. It is declaring that December shall not be a grave of expectations, but a cradle of testimonies. It is insisting that the final chapter of the year will be defined by victory, not repetition. Restoration is not simply the act of getting back what was lost. It is the divine reordering of time, opportunities, relationships, and resources in such a way that your life begins to reflect what God originally intended. When you declare that December must bring restoration of lost opportunities, you are activating one of the most powerful dimensions of God's mercy. There are losses that are visible: finances, relationships, open doors, declining health, missed chances. And there are losses that are invisible, such as lost years, lost confidence, lost seasons of favor, or lost spiritual sensitivity. Many people moved through the year with good intentions, but encountered obstacles that stole time, disrupted progress, and buried their expectations. To speak restoration over December is to insist that the month becomes a carrier of divine compensation, allowing you to recover in 1 month what the enemy attempted to drain over many months. Restoration begins when you recognize that time in the hands of God is not like time in the hands of man. Human beings cannot go back, but God can stand in your past, rearrange your present, and accelerate your future. Opportunities that seemed permanently lost can be resurrected by the breath of the Spirit. Favor that once rested upon you can return with greater intensity. Relationships that were broken due to misunderstanding or spiritual interference can be repaired and strengthened. Every area where the enemy attempted to rob you can become the very area where God pours unprecedented increase. When you speak boldly and say, December, bring restoration to my life, you are declaring that the final month of the year will be a month of divine recovery. Lost opportunities can take many forms. Some people lost business deals because of unexpected obstacles. Some missed promotions because they lacked support or visibility. Some missed divine connections because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Some allowed fear, procrastination, or confusion to cripple decisions that should have propelled them forward. Others experienced spiritual dryness that caused them to lose moments of revelation that could have changed everything. But restoration means God returns these opportunities in ways that exceed your original expectation. It means the next door He opens will be bigger than the one you missed. It means the next connection He brings will carry more destiny than the one that slipped away. Restoration always comes with increase, not mere replacement. Declaring restoration in December is also an act of defiance against the voice that whispers that the year is already over. The enemy loves to manipulate time, convincing people that there is no longer enough space for change, no room for miracles, no possibility for breakthroughs. But when you stand in prophetic boldness and command restoration, you silence that voice. You remind yourself that God is not bound by deadlines. You remind the realm of the Spirit that the God who created time can rearrange time. You remind your environment that the final days of the year can still produce testimonies that will echo for years to come. Restoration also affects your internal world. December must restore peace where there has been anxiety, strength where there has been weariness, hope where there has been discouragement, clarity where there has been confusion, and joy where there has been sorrow. Many people walk heavy-hearted into the last month of the year, carrying disappointments from the earlier months. Restoration means those burdens break and a new atmosphere enters your life. It means God strengthens what was weakening and breathes life into what was dying. When you command December to bring restoration, you are not simply asking for the return of what was lost. You are invoking God's ability to restore with multiplication. You are asking him to return opportunities with interest. You are declaring that wasted time shall become productive time. Missed chances shall become supernatural openings. And every weakness shall become a testimony of strength. You are announcing that December will not conclude your year with emptiness, but with a restoration so impactful that it redefines your story. Supernatural acceleration is one of the most powerful interventions God releases when time appears insufficient and human strength has reached its limits. It is when God compresses processes, shortens journeys, multiplies results, and causes what would normally take years to happen within days. When you declare over December that the remaining days will be marked by supernatural acceleration, you are invoking a divine principle that overrides natural timelines. You are announcing that the delays of previous months will not define the conclusion of your year. You are calling forth the dimension of grace that causes a person to accomplish more in a short season than others do in a long one. This is not wishful thinking. It is a spiritual reality that becomes activated when a believer understands their authority and speaks it boldly. December is often seen as a month of closure, a time when people settle, slow down, and assume that whatever was not achieved earlier must now wait until the next year. But the spirit of acceleration contradicts this mindset. It insists that God can still do more in one remaining month than you could do in 11 months of effort. It declares that the final part of the year carries the ability to produce surprising results. Results that testify of God's involvement, not human effort alone. When you speak supernatural acceleration into December, you are telling the month, you cannot be ordinary. You cannot be slow. You cannot be stagnant. You must carry divine speed. Acceleration is not randomness, it is targeted intervention. God does not accelerate everything at once. He accelerates the areas that matter for destiny. The areas where time has been wasted, the areas that the enemy attacked, and the areas necessary for launching you into the next season of your life. Some people need acceleration in their finances, others in their relationships, others in their ministry, others in their career, and others in their emotional or spiritual restoration. Whatever the area, acceleration means God bypasses natural limitation. It means he shifts people, conversations, open doors, connections, and resources into your path with unusual speed. It means what was dragging suddenly begins to move. What was stuck becomes free. What was blocked becomes accessible. Declaring supernatural acceleration in December also means rejecting the lie that it is too late for something meaningful to still happen in the year. That voice of limitation is one of the enemy's strongest weapons, causing people to surrender prematurely. But acceleration means the season is not over until God says it is over. It means the year cannot close until the promise has spoken. It means that while others may be winding down, heaven is stirring things up for your sake. It means events are reorganizing, people are repositioning, and resources are being redirected, all within the short window of December. Acceleration often comes with unusual favor. It compels helpers to appear quickly. It compels opportunities to locate you speedily. It causes approvals, clearances, promotions, breakthroughs, and divine alignments to manifest without delay. What normally takes long conversations begins to happen with a single phone call. What requires many steps gets compressed into one. What requires extended waiting suddenly opens with ease. You move forward not because you are strong, but because grace has taken over. Supernatural acceleration also redeems time. It compensates for months that felt wasted or unproductive. When God accelerates you, He restores the value of the time you thought you lost. He brings results that validate seasons of waiting. He multiplies your efforts and crowns your obedience. He rewards your endurance by releasing outcomes that could not have been generated by your strength alone. When you speak acceleration over December, you are telling your environment to respond quickly to divine instruction. You are commanding the wind of the Spirit to push you into the realm of completion, manifestation, and fulfillment. You are announcing that the year will not close slowly, weakly, or silently. Instead, it will end in a burst of divine activity, fast, purposeful, and victorious. To declare supernatural acceleration is to declare that God is still working, still moving, still lifting, still blessing. It is insisting that time is not your enemy, time is your servant. It is decreeing that December will not be a season of delay, but a season of divine speed, carrying you into the fullness of what God intends before the year concludes. When you declare that December must bring good news to your family, you are establishing a prophetic covering over every aspect of your household. Families are the foundation of destiny, and the enemy understands that if he can disrupt the peace, unity, or progress of a family, he can weaken the strength of individuals within it. Good news is not just the arrival of favorable events, it is the manifestation of God's intention for your household. It is the evidence that heaven has intervened in matters that concern you. When you speak this over December, you are inviting the month to become a vessel through which divine joy, restoration, and transformation are delivered into your home. Good news in a family can take many forms. For some, it may be the healing of a loved one who has battled sickness throughout the year. For others, it may be the breakthrough of a child who struggled academically or emotionally. It may be the reconciliation of relationships that were strained or on the brink of breaking. It may be the arrival of financial provision after months of hardship. It may be the opening of doors for marriage, the birth of new ideas, the revival of spiritual fire, or the deliverance from patterns that have held generations captive. When you declare that December must bring good news, you are speaking into all these areas, commanding them to align with heaven's agenda. Families often go through battles that outsiders never see. Silent tears, hidden worries, heavy burdens, financial pressures, misunderstandings, repeated disappointments, emotional exhaustion, spiritual dryness. When you call forth good news, you are declaring an end to these hidden battles. You are telling December that sorrow cannot have the final say. You are aligning your household with divine intervention. You are commanding the atmosphere of your home to shift from tension to peace, from lack to provision, from fear to confidence, from confusion to clarity, from heaviness to joy. Good news also represents the reversal of negative reports. Many families receive reports that shake them. Medical reports, financial notices, academic failures, legal complications, or sudden emergencies. When you declare that December must bring good news, you are insisting that every negative report be overturned by the hand of God. You are calling forth testimonies that silence fear, testimonies that silence doubt, testimonies that silence the enemy. Good news means God steps into the story and rewrites what was supposed to end in pain. Declaring good news over your family is an act of spiritual protection. You are placing a covering over your home that repels tragedy. You are rejecting end of year calamities. You are shutting the door against sudden sickness, accidents, losses, confusion, or attacks. You are enforcing the covenant of divine exemption. You are proclaiming that your family will not end the year in mourning, but in celebration. Good news also opens the door for divine favor. It summons helpers into your family's life. It attracts opportunities, open doors, and breakthroughs. It releases peace into the home. It creates unity among family members. Good news is like a fresh wind that enters a house and clears away all stagnation. It energizes hope. It strengthens relationships. It restores dreams that were fading. It awakens the desire to move forward, believe again, and expect more from God. When you command December to bring good news, you are also breaking the cycle of disappointment that often appears at the end of the year. Many families enter December with anxiety, fearing unexpected problems. But your declaration establishes a new order. You tell December, in this house there will be laughter. In this house there will be testimonies. In this house there will be joy. You shift your home from survival mode to victory mode. Good news is not random. It is a manifestation of divine order. And when you speak it, the month must respond. December cannot close the year with emptiness when you have spoken fullness. It cannot close the year with tears when you have demanded joy. It cannot close the year with loss when you have proclaimed restoration. You are setting a spiritual law in motion that the final chapter of this year must be written with the ink of testimony, favor, peace, and breakthrough for your entire family. The covenant of exemption is a spiritual reality that shields a person or a family from the disasters, tragedies, and afflictions that affect others. When you declare that December must operate under this covenant for your household, you are stepping into the protection system of the kingdom. You are proclaiming that others may face end-of-year calamities. Your family will be carried by divine preservation. This is not arrogance. It is alignment with spiritual truth. It is the understanding that God marks his own, sets them apart, and differentiates them even in seasons when danger rises. When you invoke the covenant of exemption, you are activating a hedge of protection around your home, around your destiny, around your travels, around your health, around your finances, and around everything connected to you. December is a month where many unexpected battles arise. Accidents increase, sickness intensifies, financial pressures mount, emotional weight grows heavier, and spiritual warfare becomes more aggressive. Many people fear December because they have seen patterns: unplanned hospital visits, sudden crises, strange losses, relationship tensions, or confusing setbacks. But when you stand in your authority and declare exemption, you are refusing to let the month dictate the narrative. You are telling December, my family will not be counted among casualties. We will not be part of any statistics of tragedy. The covenant we stand on is stronger than any attack. Exemption means that while something may be happening around you, it will not enter your home. It may touch others, but it will not touch you. It may shake environments, but it will not shake your foundation. It may threaten systems, but your security is not in systems. It is in God. Exemption is the divine seal that says, pass over this family, pass over this household, pass over this destiny. It is the spiritual insurance that keeps you safe, even when storms rise unexpectedly. Declaring the covenant of exemption over December is not merely about avoiding danger. It is about inviting divine order into your environment. It means everything in your home must function under heaven's supervision. Your going out and coming in must be guided. Every journey must be protected. Every night must be preserved. Every plan must be secured. No weapon, physical, spiritual, emotional, or financial, will prosper. You are surrounding your family with a spiritual barrier that cannot be broken by human or demonic influence. Exemption also means peace. Many families enter December with anxiety anticipating difficulties or expecting something to go wrong. Fear becomes a silent companion, but exemption removes fear. It restores confidence. It gives you the assurance that you are not navigating the month alone. You begin to walk with calmness, knowing angels accompany you, knowing grace surrounds you, knowing the month has been instructed to honor the covenant over your family. Exemption also affects your finances. December often comes with unnecessary expenses, sudden financial drains, or unexpected losses. But when you declare exemption, you are rejecting financial leakage. You are commanding that your resources be preserved, that your harvest remain intact, that your income be protected, that no emergency will swallow your provision. Exemption ensures that your finances end the year with stability, not chaos. Emotionally, the covenant of exemption guards your heart. It protects your mind from heavy thoughts and oppressive anxieties. It shields your joy from sudden sorrow. It keeps your hope alive. You are declaring that emotional storms will not visit your home, that depression, confusion, or discouragement will not find space within you or your loved ones. Spiritually, exemption strengthens your alignment with God. It ensures that your fire does not go out, that your discernment remains sharp, that your prayer life remains active. It blocks every spiritual attack meant to weaken you or introduce strange battles at the end of the year. When you declare exemption over December, you are not just speaking protection, you are speaking divine ownership. You are saying, this family belongs to God, and because we belong to Him, darkness cannot claim us. You are invoking a law that forces every situation, every environment, every event, and every unseen influence to honor the seal of God upon your household. And as December unfolds, everything around your family will testify that you were indeed exempted, kept, preserved, guarded, and covered by the hand of God. When you declare that December shall produce testimonies that announce destiny, you are calling forth a kind of breakthrough that goes beyond ordinary blessings. You are summoning the type of results that shift narratives, redefine identity, and introduce your family into a new realm of relevance. Testimonies that announce destiny are not quiet, hidden, or subtle. They are loud, undeniable, and transformative. They attract attention not for the sake of pride, but because they reveal the unmistakable fingerprint of God. These are testimonies that people cannot ignore, that provoke conversations, that inspire faith, and that alter the trajectory of your life. When you speak this over December, you are declaring that the month will not end with casual outcomes, but with miracles that carry the weight of divine purpose. Such testimonies are often connected to long-standing expectations, perhaps prayers you have carried for years, battles you have wrestled with privately, delays that have weighed heavily on your heart, barrenness, stagnation, joblessness, confusion, debt, spiritual dryness. These are the kinds of prolonged situations that demand divine intervention. When December brings testimonies that announce destiny, it means God steps into these long battles and ends them in a dramatic way. It means He chooses the final month of the year to show you that He has not forgotten you. It means He turns your waiting period into a harvest period. It means He crowns your year with the kind of victories that make every previous tear worth it. Testimonies that announce destiny also reveal alignment. When God brings such testimonies, He is not just blessing you, He is repositioning you. He is aligning you with people, places, opportunities, and environments necessary for your next level. These testimonies often introduce you to circles that once felt unreachable. They shift your influence. They increase your visibility. They attract helpers, partners, and supporters. They open doors that were previously locked. They create pathways that accelerate your assignment. When you declare this dimension into December, you are asking that the month become a launch pad for every divine connection you were meant to meet. Another dimension of destiny, announcing testimonies, is restoration with interest. These are not small wins. They are the kind of breakthroughs that compensate for years of loss. They carry weight. They redeem time. They bring increase beyond expectation. They silence the voice of the enemy that whispered that nothing would change. They recover wasted seasons. They restore dignity. They lift your head. They make you stand tall again. December becomes the month where God pays you back for everything you endured. Every delay, every disappointment, every betrayal, every closed door. These testimonies also carry a transformative effect on your family. When destiny is announced, it doesn't just elevate one person, it elevates households. It reshapes generational patterns. It breaks cycles. It shifts the spiritual climate of the home. It opens doors for siblings, children, parents, and spouses. One testimony can introduce a new chapter for an entire family. One breakthrough can become the turning point for generations. When you declare that December must bring this kind of testimony, you are speaking not just for yourself, but for everyone connected to you. What makes these testimonies powerful is that they glorify God. They are not achievements you can credit to your strength, intelligence, or connections. They are supernatural. They are impossible without divine intervention. They make people say, this could only be God. They establish your life as evidence of divine faithfulness. They silence doubt and strengthen your walk with God. They become the foundation of new faith, new courage, and new expectations. When you command December to produce destiny, announcing testimonies, you are declaring that the end of your year will be marked by triumph, not struggle. That your closing chapter will carry victory, not defeat. That your story will end with celebration, not frustration. You are telling December to gather all the goodness, favor, opportunities, and breakthroughs assigned to your destiny and deliver them without delay. Such testimonies do not visit casually. They respond to faith. They respond to prophetic declaration. They respond to expectation. So when you speak them over December, you are creating a spiritual demand that heaven must answer. You are shaping the month into a carrier of greatness. You are insisting that your destiny must speak before the year ends. And December, compelled by your prophetic voice, will deliver testimonies so profound that they will become landmarks in your journey, signaling that a new season has begun.